Here's your factual basis. Factual basis. I'm your host, BKP. Factual basis. James Comey got fired. That's your factual basis for a special counsel to look into Donald Trump and possible Russian collusion. Oh, my God. All right. Anyhow, get those Clinton Foundation bank records. We'll give you factual basis. China is sending a top level. Now, the President of the United States is set to make a major announcement. An absolutely major announcement, okay? China's sending, let me wrap this up, sending high-level diplomatic envoy to North Korea. I can't pronounce half of these names. And we're not talking about the little short fat guy, because the president said he wouldn't call him a short fat guy, but the leader Kim Jong-un, aka short fat guy, okay? China will dispatch a top-level diplomat to North Korea following President Trump's visit to Beijing. China just had its National Congress, the closest thing the Communist Party has to election. China usually informs other communist countries of the results of National Congress, so the meeting may not discuss North Korea's ballistic missiles. May not, but it's interesting. It really comes at a time where China's sending a special envoy. My belief is the president is getting ready to make a major announcement, all right? I'm looking forward to his major announcement that he's getting ready to make, okay? ISIS, the deal in Syria, when you get a chance to read that, you go ahead and read that. Now, let me go back to the tax plan that they're trying to push through. You're going to continue to hear, first of all, they're saying that they're going to take the mandate out to buy Obamacare tax. It's going to disappear. You will hear the argument over and over and over of, this is why, I'll tell you why it's too confused. It's not a good tax plan. Because I have to tell you, if you thoroughly could sit down and see what they have, not everything's public, read what they have, and you can actually just figure out if you're going to pay more taxes or less taxes. I don't think you can. That being said, they keep saying it's a simple plan. All right, I don't see it. They keep bringing out the postcard that you're going to be able to do your taxes on. Okay, fine. All right. But I am a flat tax. I'm a flat tax person. We'll get into that later, okay? I'm a flat tax person, period. That being said, with all deductions gone, all deductions. There's not a deduction for nothing. The biggest thing, and I don't want mom and dads to get upset with me, the biggest thing that they created a tax credit, your child tax credit, okay? Trust me, that is the biggest hoax there ever was a tax credit. You can have some of your money back, your money, if you meet these tax credits. We'll go over that later. The audacity of these people. So, they're telling you that the debt will go up $1.5 trillion over 10 years. They do not count the balance of the more money coming in to the Treasury based on more people working and more people paying tax, and the whole economic system, the circle, it should work. They had no problem raising the debt $10 trillion over the last 8 years. No problem whatsoever. But they are going, you're going to hear them talk about pay-go. Pay-go, all right? Pay-go, pay as you go, all right? Pay as you go is the practice, don't you love the word practice, in the United States of financing expenditures with funds that are currently available rather than borrowed. The budget, the pay-go, compels new spending or tax changes not to add to the federal debt. So tax changes are not supposed to add to the federal debt. Not to be confused with pay-as-you-go financing, which is when the government saves up money. Who writes this stuff? Saves up money to fund a special project. Under the pay-go rule, this is the pay-go rule, a new proposal must either be budget neutral or offset with savings derived from existing funds. The goal of this is to require those in control of the budget to engage in the diligence of proprietizing expenses and exercising fiscal restraint. Now, there will be politicians that are going to have the nerve to go out and read this. Not read what I just told you. They're going to read PAYGO, okay? First enacted as part of the Budget Economic Act of 1990, which was incorporated with Title 13 of the Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act of 1990, PAYGO requires all increases in direct spending or revenue decreases to be offset by other spending decreases or revenue increases. Well. Then how did we get here? PAYGO statute expired in 2002. After this, Congress enacted George W. Bush's proposal of 2013 tax cuts, enacted as the Jobs and Growth Tax Relief Reconciliation Act of 2003 and the Medicare Prescription Drug Improvement and Modernization Act. The White House acknowledged that the new Medicare prescription drug benefit plan would not meet the PAYGO requirements. They let it expire, folks. I don't want to go into this so far. The PAYGO system was reestablished. Let's see, reestablished as a standard of rule of the House of Representatives. Clause 10 of Rule 21 on January 4th, 2007 by a Democrat-controlled 110th Congress. These people have lost their minds, folks. They've totally lost their minds. They say we got to pay for it as we go. We cannot add to the deficit. Then when they want to, they let it expire, they blow it up. George W. Bush. They let it expire in George W. Bush. Now, let me say this with my 1 minute left on this. Let me end the show with something you're really not going to like. I am not a fan of Barack Hussein Obama. I think Barack Hussein Obama was the head of the corruption, and he worked the corruption angle as well as any president of the United States has ever done. Probably better, okay? He's the best at that. But when it comes to the debt, the national debt, and you want to say $10 trillion over 8 years, don't forget, George W. Bush, everything Steve Bannon said is true. He's been the worst president thing to like recent modern White House presidents. He laid the groundwork for Barack. That debt might have happened from the time Barack swore in, took his oath as president of the United States. It may have happened between that space of him leaving. Don't you think there wasn't a whole lot of Republicans that helped him spend that money? I'm your host, BKP. Now, yesterday, I went to the Fannin Rebels, went up there, and Will Shirah, let me have a picture there. This young man, Will Shirah, a left-hander, committed to D1 school, Georgia Tech. And Will is a senior this year. That's him, his coaches, his mom, his dad. That's Cliff Shirah, Julie Shirah on his other side, Coach Ayers, Clint Bowers. I can't see everybody else there. I know it's his brother. Coach Ayers is there. And he gave a lot of credit. Now, Coach Ayers is a class act baseball coach. This is outstanding guy, man. On and off field, man. Coach Ayers, Fannin Rebels baseball coach. You couldn't be happier. That's him with all his teammates and classmates that were there yesterday for the signing for Georgia Tech. Hold on to that picture a minute. But Coach Ayers took this program 4 years ago. And that is the year that Will was a freshman. He was a freshman when Coach Ayers took this. Yesterday, the challenge of meeting the challenge to actually be signed to a D1 school to play baseball, Georgia Tech, D1 baseball program, that's a big hill. And I want to tell you something. Cliff Shirah his dad Will stood up and he spoke to the crowd yesterday. Will Shirah, the young man, he stood up and he spoke to the crowd and he said, he thanked his dad. And he said, you have to be, he said, like my dad said every day. Maybe Coach Ayers said this. I'm not 100%. But it was like his dad said every day to him. You have to be willing to do what others won't do. Cliff Shirah told Will Shirah throughout his young life. So Cliff, I got to give it to you. Now, I love you. I love you. But when you get up in the booth and you got the speed gun going. Now, I put the picture up of myself and Will. I love this kid. I get to sit in the booth since this kid's a sophomore. That's me, number 22. I'm number 22 on the team, all right? I'm there with Will Shirah yesterday. I'm up in the booth. This kid's a sophomore. Now, Dad over here, oh, my God. Oh, my God. Cliff, I love you. But Dad over here is intense. He's got the speed gun. He's doing pitch count. I mean, you know, sitting up there with Cliff, gets all intense. And I'm watching this sophomore right here. The first time I went up there, the gun's hitting 90. I looked at the guy and said, is there something wrong with this gun? Something wrong with this gun? No. I said, he just snapped off 89. He's a sophomore, 10th grade, left-handed. Holy smokes. I am so looking forward. I love this kid. I love to watch him pitch, okay? Love to watch this guy pitch. You need to come up to the Fannin Rebels baseball park this year. This is not the last time you can see the kid pitch, but this is the last time you can pay a couple bucks, sit in the stands, watch some good high school baseball with these kids, and watch this kid throw his senior year at Fannin Rebels. You don't want to miss watching this guy because he's going to Georgia Tech, and the good Lord's willing in his life, this kid's going places. That's my picture. I gotta have him. I gotta print that out and have him sign it, like when he's throwing left-handed for the Braves or somebody like that. All right, because I've watched this kid. And Cliff, you're a good guy. You sit up in the booth. I sit up in the booth. I go to the booth. I'm the voice of the Fannin Rebels baseball. I asked Coach yesterday. I said, "Do I have a new contract? Am I going to be in the booth?" Nobody tells me anything. He said, "Yeah, BKP, you better be up there." So I got my jersey ready, number 22. Thank you, Cody Gray. I will be in the booth one more year. Not just one more. He has a younger son there on the team, Mr. Shirah. But I'll be in the booth another year with Cliff, watching Will. Again, congratulations, young man. Signed to Georgia Tech, Will Shirah. Don't miss D1 school. Don't miss this guy. Left-handed, hurling the ball. We hurl the ball in baseball. Hurling the ball 90 mile an hour across the plate. His senior year up there. Come and check out the team. I'm your host, BKP. That's it for me. I can't end on a better note. I will be back tomorrow morning, right? Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Creek don't rise. Sam, take us out of here.